This is Rick Rule for Rule Investment Media and the Rule Classroom. They are co-sponsors of the Natural Resources Investment Seminar in Boca Raton, Florida, held July 7 through 11. Remember that you can attend live or via live stream from the comfort and convenience of your own home. A few things you need to know about the conference. The first is that we're going to give you more than 50 hours of highly valuable but very dense programming over 4 days. That's more information than you can absorb in the time that we've given you to absorb it. To that end, the conference recordings will be available to you whether or not you attended live or live stream. A few other things that you need to know about getting the most out of the conference. Before the conference, we have interviewed every single exhibitor and every single speaker, so that you can familiarize yourself with the material that we're going to give you before we give it to you, which is absolutely critical in terms of maximizing your return on time and allocating your capital. Know something else. Unlike any other investment conference on the planet, every single public company exhibitor at this conference is owned in accounts owned or managed by myself. While my ownership is no guarantee that the share price goes up, it does mean that every single exhibitor here has been vetted. Take that as an endorsement and also as a conflict of interest. Note, too, that as a consequence of the very high value of this conference, it goes back 30 years now, anybody who attends the conference live or live stream gets a full, no questions asked money back guarantee. If you think for any reason that we haven't earned the tuition that we've charged you, simply email us and we'll give the money back. Over 30 years, we've had to refund less than 0.1% of the tuition that we charge. That notwithstanding, unlike any other investment conference in the world, this one comes with a full money-back guarantee. I have the good fortune today to interview a new friend of mine, Hugh Agro of Revival Gold, bringing back two very high quality historic gold mines in the United States, one of which I have some past familiarity with. Hugh, first of all, thank you for a couple decades of hard work on behalf of mining industry investors. Thank you in particular for your sponsorship and support of the Natural Resources Investment Symposium.
Oh, it's great to be with you, Rick. As you know, I'm a mining engineer by background. I've been working in growth in gold for 35 years now. I retired from Kinross Gold back in 2010, but really what excites me about this industry is the supply-demand fundamentals around gold projects in good locations. And that's what we've built up with Revival Gold, and we're really happy to be part of the Rule Symposium this year.
Tell us something about your past in mining. You mentioned Kinross. Any other companies that you've worked with that we should know about, some part of the career path which will suggest that you are suited to reviving these two gold mines?
Yeah, well, it's rightly or wrongly, I chose this industry. It's cyclical, but boy, it can be fun when things are going well. And I've enjoyed quite a great history with the industry, with Placer Dome, one of the industry's big greats, and Kinross, as I mentioned. We took Kinross from 1.7 billion market cap to 17 billion when I retired. And as I said, I've come back to this business. I came back in 2017 to build Revival Gold. And as you've mentioned, focused on brownfield sites in the Western United States where we've got low geopolitical risk. And now with two projects, 6 million ounces of resources and target production from the initial phases here of 160,000 ounces a year of gold.
Let's briefly talk about the two assets, starting, if you will, with Merkur in Utah, and then moving up to Bear Track, or whatever it's called today, in Idaho. Tell me a bit about these two assets.
Well, Merkur is our priority project. It's on private ground in a very semi-arid location now, 1.4 million ounces of gold, and we've just completed a preliminary economic assessment, which indicates that this project's got an NPV of $294 million, a average production ranging between 95 and 105,000 ounces a year of gold, and very importantly, from a proven past producing gold site. So with all that infrastructure, all of that technical data, and all of that de-risking, which will allow us to move aggressively and quickly to free cash flow.
And tell me what gold price that assumption is at that NPV number.
Yeah, lots of upside in that NPV. We're using an average of $2,175 an ounce. Of course, we're about 50% higher than that today.
So people can use their own imagination with the NPV, but maybe we'll talk about that at the conference. Tell me something too about possible exploration upside at Merkur. Is it drilled off, or do you think that there's the possibility or probability of more material?
Well, we've got a substantial amount of drilling in this project over the years. This is the project that, of course, Barrick Gold got its start with. And then Barrick went on to Nevada, which is where these Carlin-type systems that we're in typically are found. And these are the systems that underpin some of the world's most valuable gold mines. And this one, with most of the drilling done back 20, 30 years ago, has really been underexplored. And that's what excites us about this project. If we look at the past history of these brownfield sites, which have generated new futures, like, for example, Malartic, like, for example, Detour, like, for example, Kirkland Lake. These are the assets that where gold has been found before, we can find a lot more. And in this case, this is a Carlin-type system, actually the first Carlin-type system identified. And it is extremely large at about 10 miles of strike, a 7,000 hectare land position. And we've got a ton more exploration to do here.
Let's move up to Idaho now. Tell us something about the Bear Track deposit, or whatever that deposit is called today.
Well, you're getting a common theme here with Revival Gold. We are pursuing these brownfield sites. Again, another brownfields site, past producer, that was the largest past producing gold mine in Idaho. We've brought that back now at the PFS, preliminary feasibility study stage with this project. It's 4.6 million ounces of gold, Rick, and we've only drilled over 5 kilometers of strike. We've got another 5 kilometers of strike in this orogenic gold system. Again, one of these very prolific systems. And this one we've only drilled down to about 500 or 600 meters. So lots of depth potential, open and strike. We've really just scratched the surface here.
And tell us something about the indicated valuation in the PFS and what gold price that study used.
Well, using that same gold price that we have at Merkur, $2,175 an ounce, we've got another $210 million of NPV here. In combined, the company has about $520 million of NPV, which runs to $1.2 billion of gold value at $3,000 gold. So lots of underlying NAV in this company. Importantly, these are not just ounces in the inferred category. These are ounces in the measured in category and with engineering plans around them. So, this is really good value, relatively low risk in the space. And boy, we've got a compelling market cap for investors today, sitting at just about $60 million US today.
So I think that bears worth repeating for people. In effect, the value proposition that we're talking about is you're paying $60 million for in excess of $500 million NPV, assuming $2,100 gold with exploration upside at both sites. Is that, from your point of view, Hugh, an accurate summary?
I'd add one more thing. With all that infrastructure I've been talking about, we've got between $50 and $150 million of value in a gold plant, a power line, roads, offices, buildings, infrastructure. So that's twice our market cap right there.
And Hugh, to the extent that our attendees would like to reach out and study the company before the conference, which I recommend, so that they arrive at the conference able to allocate their time and financial resources efficiently, who specifically at the company should they contact, and how exactly can they reach that person?
Well, I would love it if they'd reach out to me directly. I always welcome calls and emails from investors. I learn a lot from investors. most of the investors who are in our space, Rick, are pretty knowledgeable people. They're entrepreneurial. They tend to see things that we may not see, and I welcome their calls and emails. And I like to get back to people directly myself. You can reach me by telephone at my office, 416 366 4100, or give me an email, hagro at revival-gold.com. You'll find a lot of information on our website at www.revival-gold.com. We take pride in making sure we've got full and plain disclosure for investors there, but please give me a call. I welcome those calls.
Hugh, you may not be aware of this, but I was a seed shareholder in Plexus, the predecessor to Kinross. So thank you for decades of effort on behalf of mining investors, but particularly thank you for decades of effort on behalf of this mining investor. Thank you, too, for your ongoing sponsorship and support of the Natural Resources Investment Symposium. We urge our attendees to reach out to you before the conference, and we look forward to welcoming you in Boca Raton.
Thank you, Rick.